Hey guys, what is up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. So today, as per usual, let's go over Tesla stock. Let's go over the market. Let's talk about what is happening today on a pretty wild day in the market. The market down significantly today, 2% on SPY, 2.5% on QQQ, which is a pretty decent drop for the broader market. These are pretty big things, right? So, even a 2.5% is pretty big news, right? It's big news for sure. And obviously Tesla itself down about 3%, holding up surprisingly not that bad, honestly, considering the market is selling off QQQ 2.5%, 3% on Tesla. I'm honestly surprised it's not more. I'll be honest. I really thought Tesla easily could be down like 5% today, which would have brought it down to pretty much that mid to low 240s. It actually held up pretty well. But Tesla, we all know, likes to kind of do its own little thing. So let's talk about it. I'll give you my thoughts moving forward. What I think, can happen in the future, moving forward really for, actually a fresh start to the month. Tomorrow is the first day of November. So let's talk about that. If you enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. And of course, if you enjoy my analysis, I do have a membership section on YouTube. For just $3 a month, you get access to all my intraday thoughts, posts, updates, technical analysis, options flow sometimes as well on Tesla and other stocks as well. Or for $5 a month, you get access to all of that, plus NVIDIA daily updates as well. But let's jump into it. Tesla closing the day down, like I said, 3%, closing just shy of $250 per share, which, like I said, compared to the market, honestly, could be worse. I actually think it could be worse. Shockingly, not that bad. So let's dive into it. So I want to make things very clear, right? So obviously we broke below certain levels, and there were some comments yesterday on YouTube. By the way, I just want to make this really clear. I'm not here to make friends. If I read the comment section and I see comments that pretty much make me lose brain cells when I read them, I will literally just remove them, ban the comment. That's just kind of how it is, right? Again, and one of the comments was essentially saying, oh, well, you just gave every single possible direction, so you can just say that you're right. How the hell do you think trading works, bro? No one has a crystal ball, right? You always give the bullish and the bearish perspective, but you also give levels that need to be held or broken for those theses to, for that bullish or bearish thesis to play out, which is what I said yesterday. 255 roughly to 256 and about 263, 260, 263. Those are the levels. Break above one, we go higher. Break below one, we go lower. It's not that hard. So that's why that comment and instantly got removed. I should have screenshotted it to, honestly, it was so like people write these kind of comments and it makes me wonder if it's like an AI writing these things, honestly, because again, it's simple. We broke below this level. What happened? We continued flushing. It's really not that difficult, right? So you always give both scenarios, always want to look at both sides and what levels need to be broken or held. Anyways, in this case, we obviously went below. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of this close. Despite Tesla holding pretty well, honestly, relative to the market, I'm not a fan of this close. Why am I not a fan of this close? Because, well, first of all, there's a few reasons on the 1 hour. First of all, we broke below this level, right? We held this level several times. We finally broke down below this level I mentioned yesterday, 255, 256, and we flushed. We simply flushed. We did not hold it this time, unfortunately, and we flushed. What else? We also have the band, unfortunately, turning red on the 1 hour, right? We have this band. We have both bands essentially turning red. That's not good either, right? Because like I showed you in the past, whenever these things turn green or red, you can see, obviously there's false alarms, like for instance, this one here. Maybe this is a false alarm. No indicator or anything is perfect at all. Keep that in mind. But they're pretty damn good, right? So for instance, obviously you had a decent one here, then false alarm. And then look at this, green pretty much all the way up, and then red pretty much all the way down. And now green all the way back up, and now it's back to red. So the way I look at it is honestly pretty simple. I don't like Tesla until one of two things happen. It is extremely oversold in 1 hour, but I do want to make that very clear. It is very oversold in 1 hour, but actually, it can get more. Our size is really oversold. But two things, one of two things needs to happen for me to kind of get interested in Tesla again on the long position, right? Option one is, well, on the daily, right? My overall main target, low 240s, mid to high 230s, like somewhere in that range is my main target. Ideally, I want to long at 235-ish. That's like my ideal scenario, about 235. That's where I'd want to long. That's the 618 Fibonacci. And that's where I personally will probably get excited again. At the moment, even at these levels, honestly, I'm not that excited. Now, maybe we bounce tomorrow. Maybe Apple and Amazon save the day because the market looks like really bad, by the way. I'll go over that really quickly soon. But that's my main level I'll be interested on Tesla. Once again, as per usual, right? I've said this a long time and I'll continue saying it. That's where I get excited and interested. Otherwise, I'm not that interested in. I just view anything else just as like a scalp on the 1 hour chart, to be completely honest. Now, that's the daily chart, right? So if I see that Tesla comes down to that target, I'm interested. Or if maybe we don't, because nobody knows. Maybe we don't come down to that target. But if Tesla on the 1 hour can turn this band back to green, okay, I'm starting to get interested again. I want to wait until one of those things happen. Until one of those things happens, I mean, you're pretty much just scalping or really gambling on Tesla, right? I'm personally going to be waiting for one of those things to happen. One of them will happen. It'll just take some time and some patience, which is usually what trading is about. 80% patience, 20% execution, or maybe even less, honestly. Maybe it could be 90-10, honestly, for all I know. But that's kind of what you want to be looking at least I will be looking at, right? I want to see one of these things happen, right? And the first hour and into the second hour, with the band turned red. I told all my members about that, and I'm sure, hopefully some of them found it useful, because we obviously just have been continued selling off ever since. So watch for Tesla on that kind of general perspective, right? Pretty much whatever comes first. 235 ideally, but even low 240s is not that bad, honestly. Or the band on the 1 hour turns green. One of those two things, I'll be patiently waiting. Now, I do want to very quickly talk about the market, because the market looks like not very good, to be completely honest, right? The market, SPY, for instance, SPY has been doing really well overall, right? It's been doing a very crystal clear, super simple trend, massive up, back down, up, back down, up. Is this SPY? Yeah, it is. Why does SPY look so weird? I feel like it looks, am I on a deal yet? I don't know. Anyway, whatever. The point is it's been doing higher highs, higher lows pretty simply, and it's been in this rising wedge, right? And what did we do today? We did two things. Number one, we pretty much broke down below the wedge and severely gapped down below it and pretty much closed at the bottom of the day. But the one thing I don't like is the fact that we closed below the 21 EMA. The 21 EMA is pretty important for the market, because the market actually respects it. You can see, whenever the market's below it, it's bearish. Above it, bullish. Below it, bearish. Above it, bullish. Below it, bearish. Back above it, bullish. And now we're once again back down below it, right? Same with QQQ, exact same thing. Above it bullish, below it bearish. It's really that simple. The market does respect the 21 EMA pretty well, actually. So unfortunately, both of them are closing at the lows of the day, and they're also closing at below the 21 EMA. I don't like to see that. That's not something that, as a bull, you'd want to see. So unless somehow the market decides to rally substantially off of Amazon and or Apple coming up, which Amazon so far is doing a nice 5%, though the market's not really going up that much off of it. We'll see what Apple can bring to the table, of course, and honestly, not that much longer. There are definitely some signs of concern here, right? You, of course, also have the stochastic officially finally back to crossing bearish, well below the green line, below all these levels back here. And, again, I don't like the way the market's looking right now. The market does look honestly kind of bearish, right? And I can't imagine that's a good thing for, well, Tesla, right? So let's see how this plays out. But at the moment, again, I'm not a fan of how it looks. But for Tesla specifically, again, for me personally, whatever comes first, ideally 235 or the 1 hour bands turn back to being green. And I'll be just patiently waiting for that. I'm not in a rush. I'll wait. I'll let the trade come to me. I'll let the opportunity come to me. Otherwise, I'm not that interested, to be completely honest. But that's probably the main thing I'm looking at. In terms of options flow, excuse me, I just had lunch. Had a late lunch. Had a dentist appointment today. Tesla is quite a lot of bearish flow, but Tesla down here, you can see 15 million negative flow, or in other words, bearish flow, with obviously NVIDIA and apparently Boeing and AMD as the top three. So yeah, watch out for that. But yeah, not the best close across the market. Maybe this is a massive bear trap. It absolutely can be. You never really know. But the fact that the market is doing this below the 21 EMA is not something I'm a fan of. And honestly, I'd want to see the market essentially get back above that 21 EMA at some point. It will at some point. Just a matter of when at this point. But until I see it back above the 21 EMA, I assume every single pop that we get back up will be most likely shorted and or sold off until we get closures back above that 21 EMA on the market. And Tesla, you know what I'm looking for as well. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let's see you for the next one. Peace.